Hello, I'm Ed Roberts, Chief Operations Officer here at Bozard Ford Lincoln, and I have a huge surprise for everybody out there. Today is the first ever Fixed Ops Roundtable pop-up event, and it's live here at Bozard Ford Lincoln. Yes, you heard that correctly. I have Ted Ings and Kara Delane live and in person here at Bozard Ford Lincoln. But before I go any further, I have to give a special thanks to BG. BG Products is the exclusive sponsor to Ted Ings Fixed Ops Roundtable pop-up event here at Bozard Ford Lincoln. Thank you, BG, for all you do. Over the next couple hours, I want to take you through a journey of what we do here at Bozard. I want to introduce you to our leadership team. I want to give you a tour through our in-house daycare. I want to let you know what we do with our Bozard University, which gives our team members the opportunity to have a career in the automotive industry rather than just have a job. I want to introduce you to mobile service. And you guys know how I feel about mobile service. It is changing the industry. I want to introduce you to teams and what teams can do for you inside of your store. I have other things as well. I don't want to take up any more time, but at the end, I hope that it inspires you to go back and make a difference in our industry. Enjoy. I'll talk to you soon.
It's better than HD. It's live and in person. We're thrilled to welcome you to the Fixed Ops Roundtable pop-up featuring Kara Delane and Ted Ings. This event is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. Now for your hosts, Ted Ings and Kara Delane.
Welcome to our first ever live pop-up event at Bozard Ford Lincoln with the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We are super excited to be here in person finally with Mr. Jeff King. Thanks for having us today.
Well, thanks for being here. We're excited to host you and excited to show you what we do around here.
Absolutely. So if you're watching us live today, make sure you're sharing the video and commenting down below so you can interact with all of our staff that we have engaging with us from Bozard today.
Yep, and we're going to have a whole lot of people here from Bozard that you're going to be hearing from today in the next 2 hours on our very first Fixed Ops Roundtable pop-up event. First, Jeff King, I want to congratulate you. We talked a little bit last night about the 13-year anniversary here at Bozard.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a fun 13 years, and looking forward to the next 13.
So we're going to get a chance to see and hear a lot about Bozard. Jeff and Ed have been kind enough to give us a tour. You'll be seeing a lot of that tour today on the pop-up event here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. And Jeff, some of the things we had a chance yesterday to talk to you about, some of the mission and values that are behind the Bozard name. There's a whole lot to it. And if you wouldn't mind, maybe share a little bit about how some of that came about.
We started working several years back on a vision statement, and we came up with inspire was the word that kept on popping up in our heads, and we sat together, and I think it was Bo that actually came up with the driven to put in front of it. But driven to inspire is our vision statement, and then inspire is we use the acronyms of inspire to run our tenets, which are driven to innovate, driven to be number one, driven to serve, driven to respect. As you go down the list, and we live up to those tenets. We try to live up to them every day. When we make decisions, we try to make decisions based on what our core values are. And it's one thing to tell people what you want them to be, but you have to act it out. You have to do what you say you're going to do, and that's what we try.
I love it. So our Fixed Ops Roundtable audience will get a chance today to see and hear a lot of that, beginning with a little bit on the leadership here at the dealership. We're going to get a tour through service with Ed Roberts. We'll talk, of course, a lot about their team situation with the setup, their mobile service, Jeff, which you folks have really pioneered and done a fantastic job with.
Yeah, we're running 10 mobile service trucks right now, and it's, in our opinion, is going to be a very significant role in our service and our entire operation over the next several decades.
Yep, and you're leading the way in that. And Kara, you and I had a chance to see not just mobile, but the rest of the shop yesterday, and that was pretty impressive.
Absolutely. We got to see, the parts counters, all the technicians, to the sales staff, all the managers. And I have to say, Jeff, this dealership in particular has more of a streamlined process than I've ever seen at any other dealership I've been in. And that happened in every single department. And I noticed that all the employees seem to work really well together as well.
No, it's thank you. It's intentional. Dealerships have a tendency to work out of silos, and we try to break those silos down and get departments to work with each other, do a lot of focus groups and that type of thing. But if the departments don't work together, the efficiency in a car dealership goes completely down the tubes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So impressive stuff. Last night we got a little taste of what you're doing at Bozard, and you shared something with our audience in book form. And I think you made an offer to our audience, and we ran out real quick on that. And share with us what that book is. Special title, special cover.
Yeah, the book "Be the Sun, Not the Salt." It's a book that we give to our employees during orientation, and we talked about our tenets. Inside the book, we have our tenets listed out. And if you would like a copy of these and a copy of our tenets and our vision statement, just in the comment section below, just type in "Be the Sun," and we'll be glad to send you one. They're available at our dealership, and people come and take them. And it's it's our way, and a little reminder of how you be the best version of yourself.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, so everybody, if you'd like a copy of that from Bozard Ford Lincoln, from Jeff King, in the chat, just type in those words, "Be the Sun." That's the title of the book, and we'll make sure that you get a copy of that. Great thinking behind all of that, and a lot of imagination also in that you're not afraid to take some steps and risks here. Talk to us a little bit about that, Jeff.
The ability to be able to fail is a wonderful thing when you can do it and you know that it's not going to be catastrophic. You can take chances at things. We do take chances at stuff. Some of the stuff that we do doesn't work. And you have to know when it's not going to work. When do you pull the plug on it? But if you are scared of failing, then you're not going to try the stuff that needs to be done. And our very first tenet is driven to innovate. And if you're going to be an innovator, a leader as opposed to a follower, you're going to fail sometimes. We're perfectly okay with that.
And we'll hear a little bit more about that innovation. In fact, a lot more about it today. One of the things we have coming up is the power of teams. And you've got teams, Jeff, throughout the dealership, not just in your quick lube, one of the top quick lubes in the country, but you've got it throughout the shop. You've got it in mobile service. You've got it throughout the dealership. Give us a little bit about the teams. We'll hear some more later.
We started the team system to increase service times in our quick lane. It was a great idea, but if you want to get a customer's car in and out in less than an hour, two-man teams get it done faster. We saw how well it worked, and we tried it in our main shop, and productivity went up 15% immediately.
Wow.
Two people teams, the two technicians hold each other accountable. Yeah, we talked a little bit about accountability yesterday, but when your own people are holding each other accountable, then your manager's not having to look over their shoulders to do it. They don't want to waste time when they're splitting the pot of money, so they feel obligated to keep to make it a better deal. You'll learn a little bit more about that, and they might tell you a little bit more insight on it. But I think it's the power of it's like going to a gym, and if you have a workout buddy and you go to the gym the day you don't want to go, if you're going to get shamed,
Yeah.
then
Probably going to show up.
You're probably going to show up, and I think it's the same concept.
Yeah. That accountability permeates through everything here, yourself included. You know all the employees by name as well. Kara and I thought that was pretty interesting as well.
Well, my stated goal to the employees is to know every one of their names. Their accountability action is if I don't call them by their names, they are supposed to call me out and ask me what is my name. And if I can't get it to them, the next thing that happens, we start talking to them. And after I talk to them and learn a little bit about them, my odds of remembering their name from that point forward are much, much better. I'm not perfect on it at any stretch of the imagination, but they have the right to hold me accountable. And then I tell them at the beginning, we also have a big team that's going to be working on holding you accountable. So it starts from the top, and we're not perfect.
And how many employees do you have here? Because remembering all of their names would seem pretty difficult.
So 330 right now at the dealership, about another 100 at Ford's garage, and probably 12 at the daycare.
Wow. And that's not something that you see in every dealership, is a guy at the top of the chain walking around and remembering people's names, not only talking to them, but knowing their names, knowing some of their backstories. So that's really impressive here.
Well, they do a great job, and it frees up my time. And if they can free up my time, I should be able to know their names.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, Kara, you and I have been talking behind the scenes, and we're going to start a certification program for Fixed Ops Roundtable dealers.
Yeah.
And today, what we'd like to do is present Bozard Ford Lincoln as the very first Fixed Ops Roundtable certified dealer. So, Jeff, we've got this to present to you today. You are the very first dealer to have 2023 certification from the Fixed Ops Roundtable. That is Bozard Ford and Lincoln. And you are hereby certified, and you'll be able to use the branding throughout, and that's something we're going to be rolling out throughout the North American continent as well. So.
Thank you very much. The guys deserve it. They're the guys and gals here. They're the ones that make it work.
All right, so very honored, and thank you for all you do, and excited about what we're going to experience today by meeting the team at Bozard.
Yeah, I think you'll be. I think everybody watching is going to have a lot to look at.
Yep. So, Kara, with that.
Stay tuned, everyone, for more insight here at Bozard. Thank you again, Jeff, and we're looking forward to seeing what all is in store today at our first live pop-up event with the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
On in. How's everyone out there doing today? Give you a quick tour around Bozard Ford Lincoln. Got Ryan heading out for a test drive. I have 98 total bays here. Got different quotes on the oil rack. These guys pick their own quotes. Get full ownership. Keep this place open. You guys can see how clean this place is. We're trying to keep this place clean because we keep it clean. Ultimately, it allows these guys better atmosphere to keep your car clean as well. Come on, let's go meet a few people. This is one of the busiest shops on the East Coast. This is one of 3 service buildings that we have. Montana. Hey, sir. Montana's got a handful of struts there. Who owns off you? Keep that on trucking, sir. Thank you. We've got a few guys over here hanging out. We'll go over there and interrupt that party. As you can see, there's vehicles in every bay. These guys have as much work as they want to do. Yeah, how good? Greg? Connor? Dan? What are you guys doing? Working. Anything happen? All right. Cool. I know it's quick, but it's a quick tour around or through Bozard service.
Got guys through. I don't want to interrupt too many of them. These guys are just hanging out, having fun, so they're not turning any hours at the moment. But they will be. We'll see you in a few.
Welcome back to our live pop-up event here at Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine, Florida. Now it's time to learn a little bit about the power of teams, which is something that is extremely important here at Bozard. So we'll start off by introducing yourselves, what you do here, and your name.
My name's Alex Cherkovich. I am the lead service advisor at Bozard Ford.
Josh Fitzgerald. I'm a Ford Senior Master Tech and a team lead in the shop.
Chris Mangiafrida, and I'm one of the service managers here.
All right. I've had a chance to meet some of you folks in the past. I know, Alex, you've been on the Fixed Ops Roundtable before. Appreciate all of that. So let me start with you. Give us a little background on your experience working alone versus working with a team.
It's a night and day difference. I worked at a store previous to working here that was individual based, and you're on an island, essentially, when you have a lot of customers you're helping, and you want to go to lunch, you have a vacation planned, something like that, or you just get jammed up and you need help. When you're on an individual pay plan, you don't have that support as much.
Absolutely.
Whereas here, with the team structure, it's amazing.
Okay.
We work on a service advisor team of 4. So the 4 of us are constantly talking all day about what we have going on, which customers we have, problems we have, how do we solve them. We bounce things off each other. Hey, how would you do this? How would you do that? Also, of course, vacations come up, situations come up. We all have families. Okay, what do you got here? What do you need attention to? Go do what you got to do.
Wow, that's impressive. And Josh, maybe you can touch on this a little bit. How has this team structure increased productivity around here?
It helps out tremendously, especially from a technician standpoint. I work on a 2-man team where we split everything, and if I'm bogged down on a tough diag or just a car is just being difficult and I can't get it done, I still have somebody there making hours for us. It's just great, like, to have that extra person to lean on where it's not all on you.
I could see it being a little more streamlined, a little more efficient,
Yeah.
time saver for sure.
100%.
Wow. And how do you guys, you have many technicians back there in the shop and around the dealership. How do you build this team? Do you pick each other or somebody pick for you?
It's best if an outside person picks it. It's just what we've learned over the course of a few years, that someone on the outside looking in picks it. I thought I was really good at it, and I've made 1 or 2 that didn't work out in the greatest bit, but I realized what I did wrong with it. So there's really 2 aspects to building like a team, like in the shop. Over in Quick Lane, it's a little different, where you just pair those guys up because it's an A and a B, right? One guy does this, one guy's that. There's no questions, there's no nothing. It's an accountability. It's easy to do. But when it goes in the shop, it's a little different because it's just not it's not a set thing all day long when you get into the main shop. So you have to look at a skill set and you have to look at personality. And I was not great with judging personalities. And I say judging, but like figuring out like how their personalities would mesh together. And you will run into issues with it from a skill standpoint. Skill set, you can look at the guys and like, all right, this is a perfect match. This guy does this. He's great here. He's organized. He's not organized. This would be amazing. And then like the amazing never happens. And I like sat there and scratched my head. I don't know what I did wrong here. Like, I don't get it. And I asked somebody else, and they kind of laid it out to me. And I was like, now I see where I went wrong here. Like, those guys from the personalities, they're too much alike. And it just doesn't work. So you have to look at both sides of it. It is tough. It's very tough.
So, Chris, we had a chance just before we started to get a tour in the shop from Ed Roberts, who took us through, and he's been talking to us about these 2-person teams for a long, long time. And you're right. He talked about the personalities, and you have the people who complement each other. And I guess maybe in the beginning you did a lot of trial and error, but talk to us a little bit about that. Why the complementing, and even on the mobile service, why that's so important as well.
So you really have to have an offset somewhere. It's no different than putting a puzzle together. When you put a puzzle together, if the 2 pieces don't fit with each other, you just don't make the puzzle. There's no picture when you're done. So you have to have it. It's really 4 pieces, 2 sets of skill set and 2 sides of the personality. And you get 2 personalities that are the same. They usually clash. Outside of like a friendship where they're just doing fun stuff together, when it comes to actually trying to accomplish something that the personalities are really close together, they usually clash with each other. So.
And Josh, take us into the shop a little bit on the teams. Is that part of the attraction and the allure to other technicians to want to be a part of Bozard? From your perspective there.
I don't know. I know initially I was a little hesitant to do a 2-man team because you're relying on another guy for your paycheck.
Yeah.
So there's definitely some hesitation. I think the culture of the shop, and you walk through the shop and all the techs are smiling and talking to each other like we generally have a good time every day. I think that's the big draw to the dealership. I think the team, you kind of lean into that once you get here and you're like, yeah, this is definitely the way to go.
And that shop was immaculate, Kara. We saw how clean it was on the floors and, just the attitude. And you're right, even the quotes above, where each technician works as well. Alex, how about from your perspective as a service advisor, the teams and the people working together with the personalities and complementing or maybe not necessarily, being exactly the same?
If you get the teams and the personalities to match, it's amazing. Like the management team here has done a great job with our current teams. We all get along. We all have strengths and weaknesses. Dawn and Geraldine on my team, great at paperwork. Jeff and I, we've been here a while, so we have the rapport with customers. So we handle that side of it. They handle a little more paperwork, and they're good at that. And we just offset each other. And it just meshes. And then we talk and talk and talk all day about, hey, can you do this for me? Yeah, okay, give me something else to do. And we keep everything flowing. So that's the best part about it. And you never feel like you're alone. I can't emphasize that enough.
A lot of people around to help each other out, and having a teamwork mentality in a dealership is extremely important. So that's great that you guys get to work together like that. And now it's what makes everything more efficient around here. So thank you guys so much for being on our first ever live pop-up event today. We loved hearing y'all's insights and learning the power of teams here at Bozard.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
All right. Just a thought that came to mind. How would you know if a team is not working? You've mentioned that when it works, Alex, it's amazing how it flows. How do you know when it doesn't? Is it that obvious, or are there other signs?
It's painfully obvious.
It's painfully obvious.
The production's usually lower. Usually, like, where the guys are from a production standpoint when you put them together. It should automatically go up. If it doesn't, then you've made a mistake there somewhere. Especially by the second pay period, if it hadn't gone up, there's something wrong there.
So what do you
overlook?
So what do you do in that case? How do you handle that?
That's the toughest part, because most of the time the guys kind of get so hyped up about being on the team and just wanting to make it work. So it's one of those difficult conversations to have with people that, like, the guys, this just isn't it, And I've had it before, and it never gets any easier. But at the end of the day, like, you have to look out for them as a person, and that they're going to continue to make enough money to support themselves, right? Like, at the end of the day, everybody comes here to make money. They have a family, they have a life, whatever. And I had to tell them, I was like, I cannot continue to allow you to do this, because eventually you're just going to quit because you're not making enough money to work here. I can't. I'm sorry. I know you guys, you have the heart and you want to do this and you want to make it work, but it just doesn't. And I try to explain it in the nicest way possible, but it never goes good. It's never an easy conversation.
And Josh, from your perspective in the shop, when that 2-person team is not working, and the comment that you made, Kara and I have a good friend who's a technician, Marco Zwanenberg, who's one of the first people involved with the Fixed Ops Roundtable, and I can just kind of hear Marco echoing his voice right now in my head. What about when a team is not working? What do you do?
I think it starts, like, when you first have the team, you need to have that conversation up front. Like, these are the expectations. These are the numbers we need to hit. Me and my partner, we have our bottom line, and if we don't hit that, like, we're not happy about it, and we almost always get way past that. So you just have to hold that number, and you hold each other accountable, and that makes that, if it's not working out, it makes that second conversation a lot easier. Of, like, we talked about this going into it, and it's not working. So
I love the perspective here from the different positions, and Alex, I got to ask you as well.
Same, just as Josh said, like, we have goals as a team for production with the service advisors, and we're constantly, hey, what do you got? What do you got? What do the numbers look like?
Okay.
If the communication breaks down and we're not communicating, there's a problem. That's when you know. When there's no communication, not that constant talk about goals and what we want to do, then you know the team's breaking down.
And Kara, one of the big consistencies that we see here is that communication seems to be really well defined throughout the
Across the
organization.
dealership, from every department, we've seen that from the leaders at the top making an appearance and keeping that open communication. So I can see why it works here at Bozard.
All right, so the power of teams, everybody. Thank you so much. It's one of the differentiators here, I would think, at Bozard Ford Lincoln. And again, congratulations to you and continued success on all that you are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
The power of teams, everybody, here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable pop-up event.
Signs. They tell you the road, places you're going, the promise that awaits. No matter where you go, when you see this sign, it means I take my car here and it runs better and lasts longer, guaranteed. It's a bold statement, but it's one that BG has proven over and over for more than 50 years. It all started when the founders of BG Products in Wichita, Kansas, were looking for a breakthrough. They developed the first BG formula. Skeptics said it wouldn't work. Anyone who tried it knew that it did. Pour it in, and engine performance and life improved, just like that. But BG wasn't about to be contained to a can. What started in the engine spread to every working part of every kind of vehicle and to every part of the world. Because all BG products and services have one ingredient in common: innovation. Through cutting-edge research and development, state-of-the-art resources, and an unwavering commitment to quality, BG leads the way with proven solutions of real-world drivability problems. That's why, worldwide, professionals use BG products, services, tools, and equipment every day. And why every year professionals from around the world attend BG University, the most advanced client success program in the industry. And why everything BG does is proven to deliver customer satisfaction and retention. Today, customers don't just look for a shop, they look for a BG shop. What can take a product from the heart of America into the hearts and minds of car owners all over the world? This sign and what it means. Now, ask what BG means to you. Because BG works worldwide.
All right, welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable pop-up event, everybody. We are at Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine, Florida. Really honored to be here, Karen. We've had an amazing 24 hours here so far. And what's your first impression so far?
Wow. That was the first word that came to mind was wow. This dealership, both the dealerships are amazing. The staff is amazing. The processes are amazing. So I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing a lot more about it today.
So we've been hearing a little bit from Ed Roberts with an overview. We had Jeff King, the Vice President and General Manager, here on the show. And we just heard about the power of teams. And right now I'd like to introduce two great friends of the Fixed Ops Roundtable. They are Matt Norris, who is the Fixed Ops Director, closest to Kara over there. And I've heard a lot about Matt as well. And we've got Clint Christ as well, who is the BG North Florida BG Products Distributor. Clint and Matt, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You know, BG Products is a really big part of what we do at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I know you've got a some great processes and things here at the dealership that are set up as well. Matt, I've heard a whole lot about you from our mutual friend, John Fairchild. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know you've gone through a lot of the training with him, but Matt, congratulations to you, first of all, on all the success that you're having here at the dealership.
Thank you very much.
Talk to us a little bit about BG from your perspective and the training and the support that you received before I come over to Clint.
So I've been in the industry for a little over 23 years now, and I've been using BG products in pretty much every dealership I've been in for almost the entire time. I'm a big supporter of it. I think they make a great product. Every dealership I've been in, we've had amazing distributors, reps. The level of assistance and support that we receive from these guys has been second to none. And for us here at Bozard, it's not so much about the product, although it's a good one. It's more about the level of service that we receive from the team. And Clint and his team have been absolutely amazing with their level of service. We've got personal friendship as well. So great guy, great group of people, great product. Can't say enough.
Yeah, and I agree. The one of the great things about BG, the power is in the distributors and the people.
Mm-hmm.
So Clint, honored to have you and meet you in person today.
Well, thank you.
And talk to us a little bit about that.
Honored to be here. BG North Florida, we're the distributor for the North Florida. We cover 27 counties from Tallahassee to Jacksonville, Daytona, all the way down to DeLand. I've been at BG for 25 years now, representing our distributorship, who's been around for about 32 years. The biggest thing that we do is we build relationships with our stores. And, when I got the phone call from Matt and so forth to come out and, talk to them about BG and bring us into their family. And I appreciate all the business we've had all these years. Look, having the best product, that goes a long way, believe it or not. But there's a lot of products out there that you can actually choose from. It's what you bring to the table that it is. And with the processes, and, Matt just mentioned a little bit about how, whether you're up north or you're out west or anywhere in the United States, even globally, BG has processes that we put in place, and our distributors and our reps and everybody follows those processes. So when they come in, they know what they're going to be getting. Me being a rep for 17 years, I've strived on customer relations, and to bring that in with that, everybody who I brought into my team and so forth, we, if Matt would need something or any customers, so that we're there for them, as for training and how to, keep it going, keep them happy. Yeah.
And I feel like that's the key factor is, and you're right when you said, it's not necessarily the product, and we all know that you have great products, but the people that work at BG, and
Yeah.
I'm not a fixed ops director, but I've seen it firsthand of how you guys communicate, how you care for your dealerships, all of your partners is just amazing. So I can see why Matt has so many great things to say about you guys.
Our new saying now is partner beyond products.
Partners beyond products, yeah.
And that's what it is. I mean, we don't want to be known as, say, a vendor. We want to become a resource, so that if there is anything, pick up the phone, call us. We're, most of the time we're in your stores all the time anyway.
Yeah.
So,
One of the things that I really appreciate with Clint is, as you guys know, we have our tech development program, and we pull a lot of people of our quick lane as we continue to grow those individuals. And Clint has been amazing and outstanding with constantly coming in and training those new individuals as we cycle them in and grow them into TDP. And I know it's a lot for you guys to do that, to constantly come in and do that training, but that's a huge benefit for us that they're willing to take the time, come in and train all those new people that we have coming into quick lane as they grow. And we really appreciate it.
sure.
Yeah.
So Matt, as part of that process, because I see Bozard grows their people from within, you grow your own, and you bring them through and then into the main shop. So BG is part of that training process and the support that Clint and the distributor provides as well.
It's not just the support that we get, obviously, on the quick lane side. They support us tremendously in main shop, but we are also partnering with a local community college in their automotive and diesel program, where we have a great relationship where we're pulling those people in to start in our quick lane. But Clint and his team are not only working here, they're also partnering with the college to start working with them, training them in college as well. So again,
Wow.
I
That
did
is
not
a
know
wow.
that. Yeah.
I love that. I had no idea.
Yeah, we were going to bring that up a little bit, and they're getting ready to launch that. what's the best thing to have is when these guys are coming out of the tech school to already learn and understand these maintenance services and how they are. And when they come into the quick lane over here, or main shop, they're already learning these services ahead of time.
Yeah.
And then we keep up with everything that we do throughout, every time we come in.
How much time do you spend doing that in this training?
What they'll do is they'll set a segment. Okay, now we haven't gone with the schools yet. They're going to put in certain segments of we're going to do transmission, we're going to do coolant, we're going to do diesel, and so forth. Here at the quick lane, we'll come in between their shifts. They have a couple shifts over there, and we'll spend a couple hours at night with them. Whatever it takes, whether it's during the day or in the evening, we make it work for them.
So, I think in addition to our audience learning a whole lot more about what BG does, Kara, you and I are getting a great education to see how the distributors do that on the local level. And by the way, I know BG nationally, through distributors like yourself at BG North Florida, Clint, they've got more BG has more people on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
To be able to interact, with that relationship that you talked about at the dealer level, which is super important.
Absolutely. And being that we have that many people out there, it's nice to know the support behind corporate with all our distributors, with all our representatives, that we all go by the same, what I call same book, so that the match of this place, they know when they call, hey, let's get the BG people out here. That's who we want to be in part with. And I really appreciate that, you've trusted us with your business to come in and work with all your people. That's amazing. Thank you.
I feel like this is flowing in from the last topic we discussed, and that communication factor in the teams. And we have it here with BG and Bozard, so it's really impressive.
Yeah, it's a great relationship. And when we come in, and we're always on the cutting edge. And for the technicians, we have the new tech app where they can look up services on their cell phone and see how to do the hookups. They can go online, and there's everything out there for them. I mean, we're always staying a step ahead from training to just reports and everything that we bring to the table.
Wow. All the tools in the toolbox you're providing.
We keep adding.
All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody. BG Products is the leader. Partners Beyond Products. I want to thank today Clint Christ, who is the distributor here, BG North Florida, and Matt Norris, the Fixed Ops Director here at Bozard Ford Lincoln. So, gentlemen, thank you on behalf of the Fixed Ops Roundtable community.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys.
BG Products here today, everybody, at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
The Clean Air Car Care campaign is BG's green initiative designed to promote the BG Platinum Fuel System service, which has been proven to reduce harmful emissions. Additional services featured in the campaign include the BG Platinum 44K service, which restores fuel economy, and the BG Climate Control service that will refresh the air inside your customers' vehicles. Advisors can match the service with the customer's biggest concern. Is it performance and fuel economy? Is it the environment and emissions? Or is it the air quality inside their vehicle? The services offered with the Clean Air Car Care campaign will provide your customers with clean air both inside and outside of their vehicles. Talk to your BG distributor about how to sell more services with BG Clean Air Car Care.
Everybody introduce themselves, including Matt.
Okay. Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable live pop-up event today at Bozard. And now we're going to talk a little bit about departments working together. And we've hinted around to this in the previous segments, but we're about to deep dive into this. So beforehand, we have some newbies up here. So why don't you guys introduce yourselves? You included, Matt.
Matt Norris, Fixed Operations Director.
John Douglas, one of the service managers.
And I'm Tom Bernard, I'm the used car director here.
All right. So, Carrie, you and I have heard so much in the past at many Fixed Ops roundtables. I know Tully's talked about, Tully Williams at the Neal Company, departments working together, bringing sales and service and parts together. Everybody, and Tom, if that's okay, I'll start with you. What causes those, the word is silos, I heard Jeff King use it earlier today. What causes the silos in a dealership? And how does that happen?
I think it's like a basis of selfishness, you know, like, because you don't really understand what happens outside of your department. So if you're only worried about what the used car department does, then I don't care if it affects service or if it affects cars or new cars. I just care what happens to used ones, right? But if you actually care about the whole, kind of have like a leadership mentality, then it prevents that division between the teams.
So how do you combat if you do see these silos popping up between departments? How do you think that you can combat that and make it more seamless?
So communication is the key. So the more that we interact, we make a point to go through and like come visit Tom and go to different departments and hang out with them and just not needing anything sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And just to see them or hang out outside of work or whatever the case may be. It's treating each other with respect and not letting silos happen. Just try to keep the barriers broken down to where we're all working together.
Getting to know each other would solve that problem.
It's, I mean, ultimately, it's about relationships, and we're all on the same team. Even though we may work in different departments, we're still on the same team, and we have a common goal to help one another, help our customers, and serve our clients, and that's ultimately what it's about.
You always talk about the wheel, right? You got to keep the wheel turning. If used cars doesn't appraise the car for new car to make a deal, then service doesn't have a chance to service the vehicle or parts sell the parts, and then used cars can't sell the car. So it's really, if everybody understands the ownership mentality of how it creates the whole wheel to spin, I believe that's what really makes once you can push that down from the top, then everybody starts getting on that same page.
Yeah.
So.
We recognize that we need each other, and so that's the whole big wheel, right? We know that.
Carrie, you mentioned earlier that word communication, and we've heard not only that word, but the word relationships, power of relationships. Tom, talk to us about that relationship between used cars, pre-owned, reconditioning, and the service department.
So I mean, like these guys, we all know about each other's lives. You know, it's I'll go hang out in their office every once in a while. They come up here and talk with me, but that also goes down to not just on the management level, but our reconditioning manager Art. You know, every morning go and talk with him. You know, we have that routine. The technicians, getting to know them, that's a huge piece. Because really, if they're thinking like me and they know what benefits me, then you reduce that slowdown in getting that through the process, right? Because they're not having to check with me or like, I know this will help Tom, or I know this will help the used car department. So therefore, that keeps that wheel rolling. So again, all those technicians, you know, we're tight with all of them. It's not just somebody working on a car back there. It's really trying to keep that relationship. More like a friendship, you know, go fishing with them and everything else. So.
I got to hear John's perspective on it as well.
Yeah, just the human element, like Tom's saying there, it's a big wheel, you know, and we recognize that we need each other and we keep the communications open and we'll go and hang out with each other, just treat each other like human beings, right? Like, I mean, we're here working together every day. So like be respectful of each other and like genuinely care. That's what it is.
Man, this is a great team we got here at the dealership.
We have an amazing team. There's no doubt about it. You know, used cars is probably one of Service's biggest customers. You know, new cars also obviously we want units in operation. Units in operation equals business for service department long term down the road. But you know, with the used car department, they're literally one of our biggest clientele right now. And it's not just about the clientele, right? It's about taking care of Tom. It's about developing that relationship like we've been talking about and making sure that we're communicating with one another, that we're working together. And
I know it always seems like I'm a late one, but I'm not late.
24 hours, so that's a big part of
Look at you.
Are there any key factors that you could tell anybody watching
What y'all have?
how to kind of bridge the
Thing, the camera thing. Oh yeah.
Tom comes out and hangs out with us, and we come up here and literally just hang out. And we talk about like what we did over the weekend, and we generally it's about being genuine, and it's about those relationships, and it's not just the lip service. Like Tom's got two beautiful daughters. He's got a wonderful wife that used to work here with us. Like we hang out outside of here. It's just it's about the friendship and the relationships and building that team. And the team just doesn't center around being in Bozard all the time. A lot of it's some of the extracurricular activity that we get a better opportunity to really truly get to know one another better outside of just a business relationship. So
I think it's really like that integrity piece, right? Like, what do you do when somebody's not looking? So again, like if I tell them, hey, you can spend $3,000 on this car to get it ready for the lot, but they only spend $1,500 because they're like, hey, you really didn't need that other $1,500. The car's good. I'm like, wow, I can like trust you with an open checkbook, basically, right? And so that's really how our process goes so quickly, is because I can trust them. That's really the word, is there's a full level of trust, and we hold each other accountable. If they spend $3,500 on one, hey man, what happened? Well, I think you needed this and this to really make it look right. Okay, cool, awesome, let's keep rolling. You know, so that level of trust is really what keeps it going, and you know, being reliable with each other and holding each other accountable is really what does it.
And one of the bottom lines is that we're here for our community, right? We're here for our customer base, and we want to be a positive influence for the whole community. And we all keep that as a bottom line goal. Like, we're trying to take care of the customer the right way.
And John, you know, and I know that word trust is not common, okay, in a lot of dealerships with these departments. Sure. How did you do it? How did you guys get there?
Wow. Honestly, I mean, it's natural for here. Our ownership has created that environment for us, right? You know, with Ed Roberts, like, they have set the tone for that to happen, and we trust each other. We work together. We, you know, I don't know any other way. I don't know any different. How about that? Like, that's the way it is.
Thing, even when it's difficult to do it, even when it doesn't make business sense, but it's the right thing for the customer. We always do the right thing. At bottom line, always do the right thing.
If everybody's working towards that same goal, then you all can trust each other and make the right decision. You know, so it's really where it all comes together.
You know, Kara, Ed, you know, was texting me, you know, last night, and you know, I said, Ed, you've got an amazing team here. They're fantastic, and you know, I don't think I even appreciated how strong the team was until I got a chance to meet some of these people that we're meeting today. Right?
Yeah, I agree. Ed has talked so highly of you guys, but for Ted and I to be here in person and see everyone working together and the processes that y'all have in place was just immaculate. So congratulations on all your successes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, can you leave us with this lightning round real quick in 30 seconds or less? I'll start over here with Tom and we'll go down the line. One piece of advice, okay, for other dealerships who are watching Bozard Ford Lincoln today that you would give to your peers who are watching out there, because we've got other people who walk in your shoes who are in the audience. 30 seconds or less, one piece of advice you'd give the audience, and then we'll go right down the line, starting with Tom.
Have a process that you believe in, but be willing to change it if that's what your business requires. So we often, you know, we have a process with appraisals, but we now have 35 people that appraise cars here. And how do you make that streamlined still without slowing down our service department as well? We have a process. Obviously, we have to manipulate it, but as Jeff would say, rather than turning the whole ship, small tweaks with the ship instead is what keeps you going in that direction you need to. So.
Yeah, I'd say, like Tom said earlier, you know, it's get rid of the selfishness and don't be just looking out for your own department. Work together with the other departments. We're here for one common goal.
Matt?
For me, it's be genuine in everything you do and care about your people.
Great advice from each of you guys. So thank you for being with us today, and I can't wait to see what this place is going to look like possibly the next time that Ted and I show up, right?
I love it.
Forward to it.
All right.
Thank you.
Matt, John, and Tom, congratulations to all of you, and continued success here at Bozard Ford Lincoln. So everybody, we've heard a whole lot today. We have a whole lot more coming to you on the power of what Bozard Ford Lincoln is doing here in St. Augustine, Florida. They really are a different kind of dealership, and you're getting a chance to meet the people of Bozard here today at the pop-up event at the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
afternoon, everyone. I found some of my mobile guys coming back in for a few minutes, so I want to take a moment to introduce you guys to them. Got Jared, been out running the streets this morning, hanging out with Tyler. These two are shady bunch right here. Be careful if they show up to your house. You got Patrick? Harley?
Yes, sir.
Last name is Davidson.
Yep.
If you find him on social that way. Got Poe? Hello, Poe. These guys make it happen as well. I have more. The smoke's still out in the field. We got a couple more here right now. Nate? Nate also got him a new ride recently. He's been rolling around showing it off. You got Michael. These two guys have been a pair for, what, 4 years now?
Yeah. Working 4 years, yes. Just round it up, yeah.
Appreciate what you guys do, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes.
And we're back at the Fixed Ops Roundtable live pop-up event here at Bozard, and we're making a switch now. And it is time, what everybody's been waiting for. We're going to talk about mobile service, right, Ted?
That's
so
right.
We have 4 wonderful people with us. So just starting down the line, please your name and what you do here.
My name's Harley. I work on the mobile truck.
Okay.
My name is Jasmine. I'm a mobile service coordinator.
I'm Michael. I'm one of the mobile service technicians.
And I'm Nate. I work on the mobile truck.
All right, cool. Jasmine, you and I had a chance to meet earlier on a
Yes.
Fixed Ops Roundtable that we did, so congratulations to you. Talk to us a little bit on taking on some of the new roles, okay, that you're doing and some of the other team members are doing. Jasmine, talk to us a little bit about that first, if you don't mind.
So, are you pretty much asking what we're doing on a daily basis? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. So typically I schedule for the mobile truck. Day-to-day basis, I'm pretty much just scheduling for them, making sure they have all the parts they need in order to make it throughout the day. Answering calls throughout the day if they run into any issues. Yeah, so I'm on the phone like 24/7 between scheduling customers and helping the guys get through the day.
Wow. And for our technicians here, how do you develop the skills to be customer facing as a mobile service tech?
Honestly, I think it's natural. It has to be something that you want to do. Because I feel like originally, just talking to customers, I find it easy. So I guess it was a perfect fit for me.
You think it's more challenging to be operating out of the mobile service van than it is to work in the shop?
It's from a customer, for us face-to-face with the customer is easier because you're more direct with the customer. So there's no second party, it's straight you and the customer. So the transparency is 100%.
You want to touch on that?
Harley?
So when I went on the mobile truck, Mike and Nate actually showed me the ropes of it, and then when I went on my own, I just kind of picked up on it.
Trial and error
Yeah.
over time?
Yeah. And I got a little bit of training from doing, it's called a concierge at pickup and delivery. I was helping delivering and picking up vehicles and just started talking to customers from that point of view too.
Awesome. Now, I have to ask, because I have actually been on the side of the road and needed a mobile service truck to come to me. So I've been in a lot of crazy experiences on the side of the road. What is something that's been the craziest, most memorable thing that y'all have seen being mobile service techs?
The one thing that we've seen is going to a customer's house and they have one of every Mustang GT350 of all different model years.
Wow.
It was pretty crazy.
That's a good day.
Yes, it was.
Anybody else have any crazy stories?
I would say the craziest thing is we had a customer, they were traveling, they had a baby, and they turned on their wipers, and the key flew off the vehicle, and they were stranded on the side of the road, and we had to help them get back on the road.
So the key was?
It flew off off the highway. Yeah.
He got out and set
It was basically where the windshield
wipers
was.
on.
So he had it up there, and
It just flew off. They were leaving the store, so the vehicle would start still, but once they turned on the wipers, the key flew off the vehicle, and they were stranded.
That is crazy. Wow.
Mike, any crazy stories? Or?
Mike already shared one. Crazy stories.
Nate, it's
It's just so many. I'm trying to think. Crazy, not so much. It's more of like a funny story.
Can you tell it or?
Yes. So we had a customer one day, and he called us out, and he was basically telling us how bad his day was. You know, he was saying he's going through life stuff with his wife, and he was like, "Yeah, man, today's not going good, and I lost my key at my girlfriend's house." So. Yeah, so I could help but like like smile, but yeah, that was like pretty. That was just funny to be like, oh, okay, I see.
And Jasmine, you didn't always do just this at Bozard, or did you?
No, I originally started out in the call center, and I got promoted to the BDC manager, and then I got promoted to mobile service coordinator.
Wow. So, in doing that transition, was that challenging for you, or were you, looking to embrace that new task, or how did that kind of go for you?
It was not challenging. I mean, starting here at Bozard, like the goal is always to help the customer regardless. So being a BDC, working in the BDC, going to the manager, and then as a coordinator, it all ties together. You're on the phone, you're calling customers, customer service, it all just ties together. So it kind of just flowed naturally.
Wow. So you do know that what you're doing here at Bozard is different than at most dealerships.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of folks are looking at you. We put made sure that, the van was behind us today, because that kind of keeps on message with what Bozard is being known for. One of the many things, but this is becoming one of the most important things. Talk to us about that. I'll start, Harley, over with you, and we'll go right down the line. Maybe some of the most rewarding things that come to mind for you being involved in mobile service as opposed to just traditional.
So I had one actually last week where we had to go do a service for this family, and the kid was home, and he was like very interested on wanting to like do something. So he went and go eat lunch, and I finished up on the car. So I asked his parents if he wanted to come train the tires, and he was so happy. It made my day. It was so cool. Like the smile on his face was awesome.
Wow.
So you're already training new technicians.
Yeah.
I think that's a hard one to beat.
Getting them ready.
That's a great story. Jasmine.
I would say two things. One time we had a customer that had a Mach-E, the tire went flat, and it went flat at a Tires Plus, and we were able to go out with mobile service at Tires Plus and replace that tire.
We actually did all 4 tires.
We did 4 tires.
We did all 4 tires.
So it was great that we still got the customer stay with us, and we were able to keep that business.
Yes. Wow.
Another thing, just being able to service customers on their terms, convenience. I love to be able to help those customers.
Follow-up question for you, Jasmine. Once a customer gets mobile service, at their home or at the convenience, do they tend to want to come back and do that mobile service again? Yes. Is that what they want?
Yes, all the time. And they have my cell phone numbers. So I know they know the text. I will get to you and I will get you scheduled. So they're able to reach me directly. They don't have to call a dealership. They're able to call my cell phone.
All right. Most rewarding thing. Or Nate, you can go as well.
Okay, so I would speak for both of us because we work as a team. Of course, me and Mike are a team. And I would say the customer interaction. And like I would piggyback off what Jasmine said, it's just people are just so grateful that you're able to make the day more convenient for them. And especially like with people, I feel like with us, like I said, with the transparency, some people don't know how tires look. You know how when you tell somebody, hey, you need tires, everybody doesn't know what that means. From a regular individual standpoint, they don't know like, oh, my tires, I need tires, how it looks. But we're able to show them like, hey, this is what a good tire looks like, and this is what a bad tire looks like, from their own, so they can get that one-on-one like transparency with what they need. And it's just like making the customer's day. A lot of people, they're not able to leave their house. They have like life situations so where they can't leave their house. They have a loved one that's sick, or it's a mother with new children and she can't go anywhere, and they're just very grateful that we're able to come out and do those services for them. Makes their life that much easier.
Kara, I got a follow-up question for anybody who wants to answer this one. Kara and I have heard throughout the industry over the past few years, less and less now, but a lot of dealers who can't make mobile service work, right? They got the van, and they're going out and trying to do, let's say, oil changes with it, right? And they're following a traditional playbook, but your playbook is very different here at Bozard. Anybody want to talk to us about that for a dealer who's maybe struggling with mobile or wanting to get in on mobile, some of the things that they should consider?
I would say that we are authentic. Like all of us, like I can speak for the mobile, like we chose, like this is what we want to do. Like nothing was forced. Everybody make the decision that that's what they want to do. They like doing it. So
I would say every dealership, I'm sure, have their challenges. And I would say there is something that a dealership is probably struggling with that they can use mobile to benefit. So if you're backed up a couple weeks and you're getting in recalls, or when you get in oil changes, they back up the technicians just doing oil changes. There's something that a mobile truck can do to rid you of that hassle. So to free up some space in the shop where technicians actually have time to work on the more involved repairs.
Jasmine, how many mobile trucks now does Bozard have?
We have 10.
Do you think there's going to be more down the road in the future?
I mean, yeah, if it keeps growing, I can see that. Of course.
You're ready for it.
I'm ready.
Any advice to anybody watching us out there or that sees this video that maybe wants to become a mobile service tech in the future?
Anybody?
Advice. I would say just make sure it's something you want to do. Like he said, don't be forced, because I mean, it can be some hot days, it can be some rainy days. It's new, so like you're laying the blueprint, so you're gonna have to go through some challenging situations. So it's got to be prepared for that.
We're really honored to have all of you with us here today. I know Ed gave us an introduction with some of you out of the vehicles as well, but really fantastic job that you're doing here with mobile. And Kara, what a great experience for us to get to see it firsthand.
I know, seeing it firsthand finally after talking with Ed for many years now about just how successful y'all are. And I don't even know if you all know the kind of spotlight that you have in our industry. Everybody talks about it. I could walk in a dealership in any state, and if they have a mobile service van, and I did it yesterday.
Yes, you did.
I walked into one in New Jersey, and he was talking to us about mobile service, and he was like, oh man, Bozard, I've been watching them, taking notes. So I don't know if you guys know that you're a trendsetter in this industry. So that's something to be really proud of, and congratulations on all your successes.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. This is the mobile service team, a big part of the mobile service team here at Bozard Ford. We're at the pop-up event for the Fixed Ops Roundtable here in St. Augustine, Florida. So everybody, thankful, and we're very grateful to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable live pop-up event here at Bozard Ford Lincoln today in St. Augustine, Florida. Now, I've been excited for this segment, and everyone watching can probably tell why. We're about to talk about the women of Bozard, and I've never met any of you guys before here in person, so I'm glad to finally be able to see inside your store and get to know each and every one of you. So just starting down the line, your name and your position here.
I'm Anna. I'm a service writer over our fleet department.
I'm Courtney. I'm in fleet admin.
Liz, I'm in the quick lane service.
Well, thanks for being on the Fixed Ops Roundtable today, ladies. And I just have to ask each of you, you know, as a fellow woman in this industry, what attracted you not only to work in the industry, but to work specifically at Bozard? Want to touch on that?
I think it's the family culture. My mom bought her first car at Bozard when I was back on US 1, and I've been coming since I was a kid. So just the family culture itself, and just being around.
Liz?
I actually have a lot of friends who work here, and they never said anything bad about Bozard. They always had good things to say. So that tells you something. So I wanted to be a part of that culture as well.
I kind of fell into it. I was new to the area. I needed a job, and I got hired on at the call center. I thought I was going to be temporary, but here we are 6 years later. So,
wow, that's very impressive. Now, there's a lot of talk around our industry about being a woman in automotive. And is there any preconceived notions that you've heard about being a woman in automotive that you want to share?
well, I feel like definitely especially for me, when I started writing service, I was kind of nervous that people, especially men, would take me seriously, things like that. But I haven't really found it to be the case, I found, I feel like you build good relationships with your customers and it doesn't really matter, if you're a man or a woman, but definitely was very worried about that kind of when I first kind of started off, so.
What about you?
You just don't see a lot of women in the car business when you start, it's like they're in an office somewhere, and now we have them in sales department, we have them in our fleet service, we have them everywhere. It's like, normally you walk in and it's just a bunch of men.
I think the biggest thing is a lot of women don't per se want to know about cars, so I think the knowledge of them is kind of daunting, but actually after you get kind of used to it and you talk to the techs and you know what you're doing, it's not as scary anymore.
You learn a lot.
Yeah, you do learn a lot.
And I would agree with everything that you said, because as me coming into the automotive industry, I had no idea that there was so many opportunities for women in every kind of department. We're not any longer, we're not in the back and just accounting, or we're not just the receptionist. We're in sales, service, parts, whatever it may be. And so now that you've all worked in automotive and you've had great success here at Bozard, what can you tell other women that might want to consider a career in automotive that have heard of these misconceptions?
Just go for it.
Yeah.
Just go for it. Be courageous for sure.
Learn, honestly, I absorbed so much from my fellow teammates, my management, techs, parts, everyone. Like from my first starter 6 years ago and now, I've just learned so much, and so definitely
we're here to help.
Yeah.
Everybody's.
You have help.
For
sure.
And that's a good point, because most of the time women are a lot more organized, right?
That's true. Yeah.
And we're very approachable in most cases. So what are some other strengths that you think that each of you bring to Bozard and this industry?
I would say, me personally, I'm pretty diligent. I'm diligent with my work. I'm really dedicated to my team, and I'm determined to make an impact with customers as well as just within the dealership. And I think a lot of women are like that as well. They want to make an impact, and they do a good job.
I think the positivity, we're just all positive, and I like the challenge. I like to be able to overcome the challenges, and that's great for women, in the car business.
Definitely a problem solver, which is service writer. It feels like sometimes all day long, all you do is solve problems. So, and we're very empowered, I would say, management and, our team and everyone to really make those kind of decisions for ourselves, which is awesome, so we can really get things done.
And where do you see the industry in maybe the next 5 to 10 years? Do you think that we're going to see more women in dealerships?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What specific department do you think is lacking the most from having more women in it?
Service.
Service?
Yeah.
I
would say
think
service.
it's just so scary to get into for a lot of women, but really as soon as you get into it, you get rolling, balls rolling, you're good. You're good to go.
Our service department last year, our top 4 grossing service drivers were all women.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
Fun fact.
last 3 months, the 3 women in our quick lane on top.
I don't know if that means for the men, but
no women then. Yeah. We need some more women. All right. So being so successful here and each of you ladies working in different departments and having such wonderful attitudes, is there any advice that you could give to possibly women watching us today that are considering taking a career in automotive?
I mean, it's something I kind of just stumbled into, but I love it. I really do. And like you said earlier too, there's so many different aspects. So like maybe server trying isn't for you or anything like that, but there's just so many aspects. It's such a broad world, and it's a great one, I think so. So I think it's a good world to, you know, put your toe into for sure.
Courtney?
Just go for it and find what you like best. You know, I started out in the sales department. Now I'm an admin, you know, for Lincoln, and then I went to Fleet. So you can move around and find your opportunity that works best for you.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. There's many opportunities for everybody, not just women, men, whoever you want, but for women for sure. Like, just get in there.
And you think the culture here at Bozard is more welcoming to women?
Yes.
I've only ever worked here, so I don't know, but everything I can take is, I think, yes.
Yes.
I mean, there's just so many of us, you know, so it's hard not to feel welcomed and appreciated and all that, and, you know, heard.
I worked at a separate dealer where they were very much so like the women are admin.
Really?
Same.
Yes. Yeah. So then I came over here and they were like, you can go wherever you want, branch out, do whatever you want to do. We support you. And so I was like, Quick Lane sounds good. I want to work. So I went over there and I love it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, thank you ladies so much for being on our show today. And
thank you.
And I don't know if you guys know it, but each and every one of you is impacting our industry in a positive way, because we're leading the way for more women, younger, older, whoever may be, to take an opportunity in this wonderful industry. So Anna, thank you. Courtney and Liz,
absolutely.
thank you for everything and your insight here at Bozard today. The women of Bozard here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable live pop-up event. Welcome back to the live pop-up event here at Bozard for Lincoln. And now we have quite a few new faces on the screen. And we're going to talk about something really interesting that I've heard Ed Roberts talk about many times. And that's something to do with the Bozard University. So I'm excited to learn more from each and every one of you today. And to give our guests watching an insight, we'll just run down the line, your name and your position here.
I'm Mike Turner. I'm the technical trainer.
James Mongelli, Quick Lane Manager.
Hi, Crystal Garrison, I'm Commercial Mobile Service Manager.
I'm Montana. I'm a Master Certified Technician and a team lead here at Bozard.
So Montana, if we can, let's start with you and we'll work our way back the other way down the line. What does a technician's career path today look like here at Bozard Ford Lincoln?
It's actually really, really awesome. So when you start here, you start off at the Quick Lane and you start slowly processing your way through the technician development program. So what you're doing is you get the basic knowledge over Quick Lane, and then when you graduate from over there, you start over with TDP, and you're over here with Mike then, and then you start really developing your diagnostic skills and then bringing yourself up to get more in depth of your development through here.
And one thing I see that there really is true. A lot of people talk about career path. You really have a career path there.
Yeah, yeah. When I started here, I was an apprentice at first when I was going through college and everything, and then when I graduated college, I started into the TDP program when they first started developing it, and it's by far one of the coolest development programs I've ever been in.
Wow. And the acronym is TDP, Technician Development Program.
Yes, sir.
All right. Crystal, your perspective on that as well?
So kind of piggybacking off what Montana said, it really takes a village. And James will kind of talk more about that because James is in Quick Lane and he, does a lot with, James, you kind of need to start because they start with you.
No problem. So typically the career path at Quick Lane or here at Bozard for a technician looks like most have gone through like JTech or FCTC, one of our community colleges here. And so we typically hire in, and what we're looking for is 3 strong values in the guys that we hire. We're usually looking for honesty, quality, and a good customer experience. And so making sure that they're all on the same page with why we're doing what we're doing, and then we get into the how. Scott Harrington, he's our technician development expert over there at Quick Lane, if you would. He's our shop foreman. And so he works with the guys that try to help build them from the ground up and identify a couple of the core values that we're looking for, and identify who has a good work ethic and strong work values. And then that's when we would produce them and help them get up to PDP.
Right. And James and I work really closely with in that part of it because James like, hey, you need to talk to this guy. The motivation and the drive to want to do better, that's something that we can't teach, right? But that's where Mike Turner comes in because Mike Turner can teach all the stuff that they don't know. But when they really start to shine and they understand like what we're trying to do here and that we're taking care of customers and they have our culture down and they have the basics down, then they start moving over to working with Mike Turner. And I'll let him talk more about what he does. But Mike Turner is phenomenal with really getting into what drives these guys and what they're excited about and where they need help and then just kind of twists and grooves, and it really is kind of an art, like in the way that he does it and gets to these guys and teaches them, and there's so many things they can do. People just think you're a technician, you fix a car. It's not that simple. Like you can be a transmission technician and be kind of weird and take stuff apart and get all dirty all day, or you can work on diesels and just swim in oil, or you got the pretty ones that want to do electrical or AC with accessories. They want to build big things. So mobile, obviously, so there's so many paths. It's not just like a one size fits all. And that's what Mike Turner is amazing at, is helping those guys find what they're good at.
So when they come over to me, what we do right away is a perform an evaluation of the technician, see where their strengths and weaknesses are. And then what we'll do is we'll team them up with another technician that may be stronger in a different aspect, like electrical, and another person stronger in a mechanical area. So we will team them up so they can learn off of one another and then learn what they need to do properly.
So even that team concept in a little bit different way there in terms of the learning and development for the techs.
Everything's about team here. So, we just carry that on from Quick Lane right into TDP, and they carry that on to whether they go to mobile truck or out on the team in the main shop.
And can you share your experiences going through this development program?
So when I started, I was fairly new to it. I had a general basis knowledge of what I was doing, but nowhere near what I know now.
Okay.
When I started, I was just getting into it. I knew some electrical, wasn't really my strong suit, but I could take apart something and put it back together. As I developed, I was able to develop a very, very good electrical knowledge of how to do electrical, and then my mechanical
ability.
Yeah, mechanical ability just developed even further. Like I could take apart a vehicle and put it back together I can even step off of a vehicle and put the same vehicle back together after I took it apart days after.
This has to be really rewarding for you guys to bring through so many wonderful people and watch them grow and build into great young people that excel in their career over time.
Yeah, it is. It's great to watch guys come in and they've never done it before. Some come from a restaurant or some will come from the technical college, and hire them in, watch them grow in their skill, watch them go to TDP, watch them develop, watch them become a team lead. And then when you walk through any of the various shops, just being able to see the multiple people that have grown within here, it's been great.
And I feel like that's something that's oftentimes left out of a lot of dealerships is that training aspect and getting genuine and getting to know your people that you're training, and instead of just throwing them in the water and seeing if they can swim, right?
Right.
Right. I mean, we've seen that doesn't work. You know, you have some that'll just rise above just because that's who they are.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that are amazing and like really good and talented. They just need that little bit to help develop that other side that they may not be so strong at. And that's what they do here. But it's not just technicians, and they'll talk more about that. But if you're looking at this people that you're sitting in front of, Montana's not the only one that, you know, has rose in the ranks. I started in the call center. James is a valet. So it's really just kind of what we do here. It's personal and professional development all around, not just technicians.
And building confidence. Once a person has confidence in what they're doing every day, the sky's the limit after that point.
So, Mike, if it's okay, take us through a typical day, if there's such a thing, in what you do. You know,
Okay.
Is there a typical day, Mike?
There's not. I don't think we have a typical day in TDP, but let me see if I can break it down. I mean, we have tickets come in, and I will team up different technicians to work together, and then we'll just go through and we'll actually diagnose a vehicle. We will learn how to properly follow a diagnostic routine, fill out the repair order properly, test drive the vehicle. Usually I will test drive the vehicle with the technicians to make sure it's fixed properly. And then we'll get it back to the service writer. And usually we will talk about it after it's done. And if we're not working on vehicles, we're using the curriculum that Ford has put online, and we're doing our online courses while we're in the shop.
And the ticket writing part of it is so instrumental because you got a lot of really talented guys that can do a lot, but they kind of lack when it comes to telling me what you did. And if anybody that's worked on a warranty ticket, if you can't tell me what you did, you don't get paid. And Mike works with them, and that's where I think where we have in recent history is that's where we missed the mark, is we didn't teach them how to do that side of it, where a lot of those guys aren't so strong. And Mike really works well with them on looking at the stuff that Ford gives us and using the resources that you have, and then telling you what you did so that you can get paid for what you did.
You know, every day we treated every opportunity for learning. And if it's a situation where they have a car that didn't quite get fixed the first time, we will use that as a learning opportunity on what they need to fix the next time. That mistakes will happen, but we will fix them.
And Montana, from your perspective, how important is it, from a technician's point of view, that you've got this development program, and that the company's behind it, really behind it with everything that they do?
So I could have came here and then just got thrown out of the shop. I wouldn't have really known anything of what to do at first. I would have asked questions, and if no one really helped, I would have been just sitting there drowning, just not knowing what I was doing. The good thing about the development program is that everyone supports everybody. Everyone helps everybody. Everyone's there to help you and teach you and give you assistance if you need it. But if I didn't have that, I probably wouldn't be here right now, because I probably wouldn't have made it.
Wow. One last question, and I'm going to direct it to Crystal. All right. You got a lot of employees here with families, okay? Children, yourself included.
Myself
okay?
included, yeah.
And I follow you and your beautiful family on Facebook, all right?
Thank you. I think they're cutest kids in the world.
And by the way, if you don't know Crystal, Crystal Garrison has worked very closely with Ed Roberts and has been very instrumental in a lot of the work that we've done at the Roundtable as well, behind the scenes. Crystal, you have something unique for the families here with children. Talk to us about that daycare situation and how that works, if you don't mind.
So any person, man or woman, that has had a baby knows the absolute agony and torture that comes with coming back from having that baby and having to give that baby to a stranger, or even if you give it to a family member, it's just awful. It's just awful that you've had this baby, you've had these moments, and you're doing this bond, and to give that baby away and to try to go back to work and to a routine, it's nerve-wracking. It's basically mom guilt wrapped up with a little anxiety bow, and it's terrible, but it was easier. It wasn't as bad when I brought, I came back to work, and Ezra was my second baby, and they had the daycare. I joked that Bozard built that daycare for me, and he did. But I brought Ezra in, and I knew those people already, some of them at least, and they told me my baby would be fine and that I would be fine, and we had rules of engagement of the fact that we're not gonna We're not going to cry. We're not going to hug me. And so I dropped my baby off and I left. And then at lunchtime, I came back and I got to see my baby, and my baby was happy. And it was such a relief that my baby was happy, my baby was loved. And so it helped me be able to focus on work and not worry about what's going on with my baby.
And is this specific to just employees' kids, this daycare that you have set up here?
It's not. There's a lot of employee kids there. I think the daycare holds about 40 children, and I want to say about a third of them are probably employees' kids, and then it is opened up when they have spots to other people in the community as well. So, yeah, it's definitely great. It's wonderful to have it. I love that Ezra drives in with me, and he's right next door. If something happens, I can go kiss Boo if I need to. So, but
We're learning today about preparing teams for tomorrow here at Bozard Ford Lincoln. This is part one. We're going to come back to you in just a little bit with part two. But I want to thank Mike. I want to thank James. I want to thank Crystal. I want to thank Montana for your time today. And great information and just the power of everything you're doing here at Bozard. So stay tuned, everybody. A lot more ahead coming up at the pop-up event here at Bozard Ford Lincoln. The Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Everybody, we are live here at Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine, Florida, and I'm so excited that we have Cesar Augustus here with us. Great to finally meet you. And tell us what you're doing with dealer scanning, because I have heard so many great things about this product from Ed Roberts, Tully Williams, and many other great people in our industry. And I'm so excited to finally be able to see it in person and why it benefits so many dealerships out there.
First of all, I want to say thank you, Kara, and I want to say thank you to Ted Ings and obviously Bozard Ford for making this happen. I'm so excited. And yeah, here's our scanning station. And this is the stuff we've shown for years. And this is what hundreds of dealers are using around the country. And yeah, this is basically
it's pretty small setup.
Easy to use. It is a 70 page per minute scanner, small touchscreen.
Okay.
Makes it easy for the person to scan.
So this is all a dealership would need to get started.
This is all you need to get. You don't have to buy the equipment. We're on a month-to-month agreement, and you basically get this and you start scanning, and it's very easy.
Okay, show me how it works.
All right, so perfect. You have a typical repair order.
Okay.
You have thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of these in some file room in the back of the dealership. Yep.
Tons of files.
I'm going to take a typical repair order, and it's very easy to scan. We're going to load up the repair order.
So you can put them all in there at once.
All at once. You don't have to flip the pages. Just naturally use it. Got to load up the scanning application, click on repair orders, and all you have to do is click scan repair order. Now, this is going to scan 70 pages a minute, front and back, and we're going to use what's called OCR technology or barcode technology to read the repair order number off of the repair order document. So see, this one is 995957.
Okay.
I didn't have to type anything. The ROs are
already populated.
Yep, it's on the screen. All you have to do is verify that that's the right number.
Okay.
Click OK. This saves it into a PDF.
Okay.
An encrypted PDF, which uploads it to the secure cloud system. At this point, anyone in the dealership can see this document by simply pulling up the repair order number. Oh, wow. And as you can see, in this scenario, I show you, here's some of the pages we scanned. Here's the back of this repair order.
Gotcha.
And as you saw, it was very easy to use.
Yeah, very fast too.
That is literally all the scanning person can do. All they have to do is you can give this to a receptionist or a cashier. All they have to do is load up the repair order, click scan repair order. Okay.
So super fast, super seamless, and it's all loaded up, and you're integrated with what DMS?
So we're integrated with most DMSs, CDK. We're doing Automate. We're doing all the major DMSs in the industry.
Okay.
And then, but the next thing is, how do we look at these repair orders?
Yeah.
So I show you how to scan. Now, if a service advisor, a warranty administrator, a parts guy wants to look up a repair order, how do they do it?
Yeah.
Very easy. There's this little icon here on their desktop, not on the scanning computer, but on their
so it'll be on their computer.
on their computers. Load up the application. I'm going to use the keyboard for this. type in the repair order, which is scanned, 995957, hit enter.
Oh, wow.
There's the information. Click on the scan date, and that's going to retrieve the PDF that we just scanned with all the contents of the repair order. There's the back of the page.
Very seamless.
Super easy.
And it uploaded so quickly.
Yep.
So this is going to save dealerships from those major file rooms and the files stored, under tables and outside, and they've got a mess everywhere.
At the time, that saves someone to recall the repair order ticket. So if a customer comes in and they want to look at something from 6 months, and there were some written notes on that repair order, then the service advisor has to call the file clerk. They need to go back.
Yeah.
That process can take 30 minutes or it can take 2 hours.
Awesome. Now, what about, do you have any sort of reporting in the system?
Right. So that's actually a very good question. The scanning is only as good as the person that's scanning. So if you cannot track what people are doing, you might get into trouble. So we do offer.
What if they're not scanning it?
If they're not scanning, then you don't know, right? So we have industry-only reporting system that allows you to see, because of our integration with the DMSs, it allows you to see how many ROs were open in a given month and how many ROs were scanned for that month.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you. It's pretty easy. You log into our system. There's a reporting application. And in this scenario, you look at this dealership, for example, for March, they opened 2,124 repair orders. They scanned 2,117 out of that, which is a 99% scan percentage, which is pretty good. And they're missing 7 ROs. So if you want to know what those 7 are, click on the 7, scroll down.
Wow.
Now at this point, and it tells you the repair order number, open, close date. More importantly, it tells you the advisor's name. So you can print this out and go to the scanning person, say, hey, can you help me find out where these 7 ROs are?
That way it's foolproof.
It's foolproof. Then most importantly and better, it tells you how many warranty repair orders are missing. Scan.
Oh, wow.
So it makes it easy. It gives you a snapshot of the scanning process. It keeps people from micromanaging. Absolutely. Your service advisor is busy with so many things. He has no time to go micromanage the scanning person. It makes it all easy. It's a simple process.
This is so impressive, Cesar. So thank you so much for showing us today here at our live pop-up event at Bozard. I know so many dealerships that could utilize this tool in their stores. So how can they get a hold of you if they're interested in this program?
Yeah, go give us a call. Go to our website, dealerscanning.com. For the Bozard crowd or for the people that attend this event, we have a 3-month free trial. So this is our best offer yet. We literally give you this for 3 months so you can kick the tires, test it out, make sure it works, and we're here to help you, support, and add value to the dealership.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Cesar, for being here today at the Fixed Ops Roundtable live pop-up event at Bozard Ford Lincoln. Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable live pop-up event here at Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine. Now we're going to continue on a little bit and deep dive even further into some of the stuff that we were just previously talking about. And there's a lot of empowerment here. And I see some familiar faces that I've got to know over the last 24 hours. And it's been a pretty unique experience here at Bozard. So I just have to thank you guys and commend you on all the success here.
Thank you.
And so just for everybody watching, if you would introduce yourself, starting with you. What's your name and what's your role here?
I am Letty Bozard. I am one of the partner dealers here and the vice president. And the chief, I'm gonna make this up on the fly, chief officer of fun.
Oh, fun.
Chief officer of fun. I just gave myself that title while we're sitting here.
All right, I'm hanging out with her later.
Exactly. My name is Grace. I'm the director of brand experience.
My name is Brent White. I'm our shop foreman here.
Well, okay. So, Brent, yesterday you had an opportunity to take Kara and us through the shop. That was an amazing tour throughout the entire dealership, really, right? In fact, I asked you how often you do that, but you took us through a lot of the intricacies throughout the shop, throughout parts and so on. One of the things that impressed us was that Jeff King told us going in, we've got a shop foreman, a young shop foreman. I believe he said you're 25?
Yeah, 25.
All right. And, first thing I said to myself was, wow, he's going to have to command the respect of all those technicians. Then I heard about the age of your technicians being so young. Okay. But, talk to us about that a little bit. Any pushback that you had on that initially going in?
Yeah. So 70% of our technicians are below the age of 30. And so being a young shop foreman, that allows me to really be relatable with those guys, right? Even up a couple years and down a couple years, right? A lot of our guys in TDP are early 20s. Some of them aren't even 21 yet. However, starting out here as a technician, a lot of our older guys that were already here, as a technician, I had to gain their respect, right? Working closely with those guys and working next to them. Some of those guys worked in the bay next to me. So just over the couple of years of working before coming to shop foreman, that allowed me that opportunity to kind of gain their respect. And then once I became the shop foreman, those guys did realize that, hey, they can come to me for stuff, right? And I actually was kind of telling Karen this yesterday, that anything 2010 or older, I'm out. Like, I have hardly any experience on that kind of stuff, right? And so the older guys in the shop know that I'm going to go to them for advice on that stuff. So I think once we kind of started going back and forth with each other, they realized that, hey, he can help me on some of the newer stuff, I can help him, and it became a pretty, mutual relationship there.
Yeah. And what's your background prior to doing that?
Prior to shop foreman?
Yes, because it's a pretty strong background.
Yeah, so I started out here at 19 years old as an apprentice. I was actually Chris Mangiafrida's apprentice, who's now one of our service managers. Worked with him as an apprentice for about a year. Went out on my own, was on my own for a couple years, became a team lead. Did that for about a year and a half before I became shop foreman.
Wow. All right. So, Letty, this is not common what Kara and I see around the country, because we hear about technicians aging out. It's an older workforce, right? And so this is the opposite here. So, Letty, give us some background on that. Some of the things that you're doing. Obviously, Brent is one of those major components, but a lot of the things that you're doing here are different, in relation to that.
So I think it starts with changing the mindset. There's so many things in our industry where we just have to tell ourselves we can do better, right? We can do better, we can do better, we can do better. And it starts with changing the mindset from the old school mentality of training to development, and not thinking that it's training and development, or that it's training and then maybe some development, training or development. It's actually development. And then training is a part of development, right? But training is to teach someone how to do something. And development is to find ways for them to learn what they want to learn and what they want to go and do. So we've really tried over the last few years to remind ourselves of that. It's hard, we have a lot of long-standing habits in this industry, right? Things that we've done the same way for a very long time. So we've tried really hard to work on changing our mindset and thinking about development, right? And the idea that no matter when someone enters our organization, they're coming in with whatever, I'm going to use the term baggage, I don't mean it negatively, but whatever baggage they're coming with, right? They're coming with their past experiences, they're coming with their personality, they're coming with their individual skill set. And the idea is that they bring that initially already has value, right? And then we continue to give them opportunities to build on that, to build more and more and more of that in whatever path, that they want to go down. And that is probably what you're noticing from the standpoint of trying to get younger people attracted to the industry, but it also has a great value for people that have been in this industry for a long time. This is an industry that, if you were in it for a long time, there were a lot of points that you could never really go much further, right? So oftentimes a dealership will hire in a service manager, and that service manager, they deserve to be developed as well, right? Just because you've been doing something for 20 years or 30 years doesn't mean you can't continue to develop. So changing the mindset to development versus training is really key to that. And then at that point, going in and looking and saying, how are we going to intentionally give people opportunities that they can see the path to development, right? That it's not demanded of them, but it's shown to them in a way that they're attracted to it and that they see the benefit from it.
And Grace, what would you say is the secret sauce of these stores? Because I know that you have Bozard University. Is that something that you think is what's really making a difference here?
I think that, yes, it's one of the reasons that we're making a difference here. Bozard University, will say, has existed because we have 300 very competent and excellent employees, but we are now taking this name, Bozard University, and turning it into a very intentional resource. Like she was saying, people, like they have a desire or a path, or they want to be able to see what their options are as they grow. And each of us has like a individual need of we want to get somewhere further. We don't want to stay stagnant, right? So Bozard University takes all the successes that we've had with TDP and all of the training that we've done informally, formally, putting it under this umbrella so that we can measure the success of it and always work to improving it, always making sure that our people are getting an individual development experience, not something that's kind of generic or blanket, but we're paying attention to what they want, what they would like out of their career or their life or their personal growth, and taking a very like holistic approach of this is a whole person. Their desires might be more than just to learn one function of one job.
Yeah.
They might hope to develop as a person as well. So I think that's a very awesome way to look at it, and it could be a secret sauce as we continue to grow and retain our people.
And it's interesting how many times I've heard throughout the pop-up event the word people or employee. And I feel like every single segment that we've had is based around everyone here empowering their peers, people under them, people above them. And do you have any advice, Letty, for anybody watching today on how to make that culture stronger in your dealership?
Well, I think that our general manager, Jeff King, who everyone has met, has always, for years now, used the phrase that our people are our greatest asset. And that's a great way to look at it. We believe in that here. But the reality is most assets that you have in your life, you invest in them. You don't just go, oh, I bought this house and my house was so beautiful the day I bought it, and then I'm never going to ever have to do anything to it again, right? Or whatever other assets that people have in their lives. We may acknowledge that our people are our greatest asset. I know that there are a lot of amazing dealers that acknowledge that. They're like, I love the people that work for me. But I think the key is, are you investing in that asset? Because that's what we do in all other places of our life, and sometimes we forget to do it at work.
So Brent, relating what Letty just said and what Grace just said into the shop, we got a lot of high-tech tools in our dealership. I saw a lot of high-tech tools in your shop, throughout parts as well. But I think what you're telling us is the most important one is their people here at Bozard.
Yeah, for sure. Our like Letty said, our people are our biggest asset, and we try everything we can to provide those guys with opportunities to grow, not only in work but in their personal life, right? Through some of the stuff with Bozard University that Grace will talk about, that allows those people the opportunity to just learn basic life skills, learn how to have good relationships with people, learn how to talk to people, learn how to be on a team, how to work with a team, just all the basic life skills that realistically is what makes work, right?
Yeah. Grace, Bozard University, it sounds like you're building for the future. Ed Roberts has told us about growing your own. We've heard that term a number of times, but you're really doing that throughout the dealerships. And it looks to us like you plan to be Bozard for a long, long time in the retail automotive business. What do you think?
Absolutely. Yes. I like Bozard to take over the world. But yeah, Bozard University is going to be an awesome way for us to grow the people that we have. And like Brent was saying, in so many different ways. It's my opinion that it's the organization's responsibility to give those people those opportunities to be successful. Like Kara, earlier you mentioned this kind of sink or swim mindset, and I just feel like that's so unfair to our people. Why would we want them to sink, right? We want them to swim, so let's give them every opportunity to be successful and invest in their growth as individuals.
Wow. Letty, that's so strong, and that mindset, it really begins at the top in your organization. We see that, we can feel that. Anything you'd want to add on that as well?
I would just say that comes from gratefulness. I think oftentimes as a dealer, you forget what the folks, whether you have 50 employees or 5,000 employees, like they're doing it so that, you can chase your vision. And as a dealer, you're doing it with them, right? But they're giving a lot to you, right? Especially when I'm always super emotional when we celebrate someone that's worked here for 20 or 30 years. That's someone giving their life to your company, your family's company, and yes, they get a paycheck and they build a life out of it as well. But there's a piece of that. And I think that what you're talking about having that vision at the top, it's really simple to get it. And it's just gratefulness. It's just remembering the piece that everybody plays in it.
It's just incredible. And I think that everybody watching us today is going to pick up on that, because I think we saw that throughout the 2 hours here of just how everybody leans on each other. And unfortunately, we don't see that in many dealerships. And I think it's becoming more of a popular topic. So thank you for leading the way, not only with all your successes here, but man, the culture here is second to none.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Everybody, the people at Bozard Ford Lincoln leading the way here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Don't go away. A little bit more coming up, and some great stuff ahead. So see you in a moment.
Wow, what an amazing first live pop-up event at the most amazing dealership that I've ever been in, Ted.
I think we came to the right place. What do you think?
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Wow. So everybody, we hope today that you had a chance to experience a lot of what we did here in person over the last 24 hours with Ed Roberts, Jeff King, Letty Bozard, and their team, okay? Pretty amazing stuff. And, you know, we're not going to stop here, though. We're going to be doing a few more of these, right?
We are. I think that's our vision with these pop-up events, is to kind of get under the hood, as we would say in automotive, of different dealerships and get to see some people that maybe we don't always get to hear from.
Yep. So we have our next pop-up event, everybody, is coming up in June. It's going to be on June 14th. Kara, you and I are going out to Sacramento, and we're going to meet the great Tully Williams at the Nilo Company. How about that?
We are. I am super excited for that. I know it's going to be a great experience, and I think we are going to end up all over the place here shortly with these pop-up events and getting to see so many different dealerships around the country, and I think it's going to be a great experience to highlight so many wonderful people in those stores.
So very grateful to BG Products and Bozard family for bringing us in today. We do have a couple announcements. We have a sponsorship winner that we just got selected. We've been running a promotion on the Fixed Ops Roundtable and now with Fixed Ops Magazine. Kara has been doing some promos for that for the past several weeks. We got a winner.
We do have a winner. So we had very few people enter in the sponsorship sweepstakes, and we drew a winner right before this. And so that winner for a upcoming Fixed Ops Roundtable sponsorship and a half-page ad in the Fixed Ops Magazine is Miss Jenna Williams. If you're watching, congratulations. We will get in contact with you after this to schedule your sponsorship with one of the upcoming Fixed Ops Roundtables. So congratulations, and thank you for taking part in our first ever sponsorship sweepstakes.
And everybody stay tuned, because starting Monday morning at 9 o'clock, this Monday, the 15th of May, we've got our 20th Fixed Ops Roundtable. It's back to the 80s.
Yep.
You're going to wear your 80s gear?
Of course.
All right.
Of
So
course.
we've got a 4-day event starting Monday at 9 a.m. at fixedopsroundtable.com. If you don't have your tickets, they're already out there complimentary. Please sign up. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we've got over 150 speakers. I think it's 32 panels, keynotes. Liza Borges from Carter Myers will kick us off Monday morning, and then get us going with Robert Migliaccio, our first keynote. So
a lot of things happening here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. So on behalf of myself and Ted, thank you to everyone here at Bozard for letting us come out to your wonderful store and getting to know all of you and taking the time today.
And thanks to everybody watching as well. And thanks to Kara for all the hard work in putting this in, and our team behind the scenes and getting this to happen. So
absolutely.
Our audience, thank you so much for being a part of the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We could not do any of this without your great support. So thank you. And BG Products, our exclusive sponsor for today's event. So on behalf of Kara Delane, I'm Ted Ings, and this is our first pop-up event, Fixed Ops Roundtable, here at Bozard Ford Lincoln. Thank you for watching.